Awoken tends to be, I think, the more played new content because it's in the map pool, right? So there's no getting around it. If it's in the pool, you got to learn how it works.
Yeah, and it was in the PTS as well. A lot of players had access to the PTS during this time and would play a lot of Awoken. It's a really, really pretty map with fantastic pace. But nonetheless, we're moving into Blood Covenant. The other semi-final has begun between Balticqc and Dreams&Magic Red. I'm on Proximo to begin with, and let's see what we can do. He's going to pick up the second kill of the match. He's going to have the rail to work with, and let's see what kind of damage he can do. Yeah,
he's already got a bunch of good weaponry for it too. Nail gun, rocket, and rail. Speaking of which, nice 100 damage. I think optimizing trying to get the heavy instead, but actually it looks like it was Bukster who collected it at the same time.
And we can see just quickly the compositions here. Proxima with Doom. We were seeing mostly Galena Visor before. Bukster with Visor. We can see Wiser with Visor. So I'm going to hate saying.
You said earlier, I'm really not looking forward to having to say Wiser's Visor. It begins!
Yeah, it's already started right now. Bukster is going to be able to get himself a kill too. Nake's getting a frag, the first one for Dreams&Magic. Let's see, there are two Spaniards over at the heavy, but it is Wiser going to be able to take that one down. I'm checking out Nakes, who's finding a couple of health bubbles too.
Now, looking at this champion lineups, I mean, like, these really are champions there. If it's 2v2, you're going to see them a lot. Doom, Visor, and Galena, all collectively, I mean, there's really, they work so well on almost every map in this lineup.
Yeah, and leading towards DreamHack Tours, I think these three are going to be the main, I don't know, the anchors for a lot of teams. There might be some people stretching out, going for a Keel, going for a BJ, or something like this, but in actual fact, we expect it to be like this.
For sure. I think each game mode, right, each meta provides its different lineup. Oh, yeah. Wiser looking really good for that one. Very impressive stuff. Very close, too. The fight taking place by Mega. Actually, I love that patience to just wait and shut off that attack towards Mega.
His rockets have been looking good, and I know historically, Jason Kaplan and I have noticed that Wise is this guy who really has great starts to the game, but it's never something that he's able to hold on to for the duration of it. So I'm rooting for Wiser right now, because can he have a strong match all the way through? His teammate should be able to pick up this. He has got it, Nix does have it in the end. So we should see them be able to at least stretch that lead a little further.
LG and Quad. The always dangerous combo, but not really going to be able to use it too much, besides this one frag, perhaps.
Machine gun!
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate with the weapon selection there. Tried to really sort of put all his cards on the table with that LG, but just nowhere near far enough away. That would have been one frag. Let's just hope it's not going to be 49-50 at the end of the round.
Exactly, he'll be kicking himself then. But it was a 2-for-1 over there for Balticqc. Proximo does get himself. Oh, he walked into the totem, it dropped from the heavens, and he
on your head, mate.
Did not get out of the way. I'm watching Bukster now, who's just got himself mega health. He's now got Piercing Sight, ready to go.
Oh, I love the rail too. I mean, having the benefit of Piercing Sight, I think one of the buffs to Visor, fantastic shot. One of the buffs to Visor, which is almost like an inadvertent buff, was the 100 damage on a charged rail. Because that just goes hand in hand with Piercing Sight so wonderfully. And Bukster, my word.
Looking good now.
He is indeed.
But still trying to catch up and lead a little bit. Rails on top, working well for him. As soon as we clear ourselves away from fights, I want to check out the scores a little bit, but he's having a nice spree right now. He's 9 for 5. He's going to catch Wiser up the jump pad.
The classic.
And that'll be another reason. What's that, 5, 6 in a row? Who's counting, right?
This is a good life. This is a wonderful... Ooh, trying to go for the airborne as well. Not much you could do about it. Just had to land the shot, but unfortunately couldn't. Wiser as well.
Let's go find Wiser. How's Wiser? He's 7 for 7. He's top fragging for Dreams&Magic. Next, very close behind though.
Bukster very much keeping Baltic in the fight right now.
Yes.
A significant frag difference.
Oh, the steal.
Yeah, Wiser just jumping in, no fear whatsoever. A little bit weak, but actually, especially seeing as we saw the health bubble get taken. I think Wiser probably would have preferred that. I think if he's got protection.
He's managed to find himself 2 health bubbles. He's healed up a fair amount. Does kind of need some more weaponry. He's got no rockets to work with. It doesn't really enable him to do much at the moment. I would have preferred to see him go for a rail and keep that high ground angle, but he manages to live through the entire duration of the protection. He's done well there, and they've not lost the lead. Rockets are back as well.
This is as close as I think we were expecting. 15-15. We're almost 5 minutes on. It's been very much a back and forth between these guys. And oh, shout out to the new skin.
There we go.
I love that plasma rifle.
I got it recently as well, so I'm delighted.
Oh, I saw your tweet about that.
I was very,
You
very
were a happy boy. Bukster goes down.
Lovely job. Love these jumps. It's actually the nail gun, I should call it still. Provides so much extra mobility. There's a lot of nice jumps on several maps, in fact. Worth getting your practice in with that weapon. I
think as well, we weren't seeing a lot of those like trick jumps. It's funny, really. We weren't seeing these a lot last year. It's as the game was progressing and people were learning more and more about it. People are starting to experiment more.
The nail gun has also changed a little bit during that time in terms of how much knockback there is, how it's working, and the jumps with it. It's actually more possible to do it. And I think it's a nice reflection on what the plasma used to be like in previous Quakes.
I think it takes a lot of champions. I mean, like Galena, for example, right? Like, before that change was made, there was no way Galena could have made that jump from bridge to rail, which means that picking her in general on this map might have been less meta or less viable because she can't move around like the rest of the cast can. Yeah. Now she has those options. And obviously, in 2v2, her totems are so dangerous anyway.
Well, we're all out of ammunition for weapons other than machine gun for Weiser. He's going to end up going down. Bukster trying to fight to get this quad damage.
Oh my.
He does die, but
Proximo coming in.
He's got the refrag over here. He's got himself a good amount of weapons. He's so mobile around the map. Weiser is going to melt. And I think he's just targeting his teammate, going for anything. He is on high alert.
I love the coordination right there of, I think Bukster was able to survive long enough to just do the maximum amount of damage he could before he died, and it just allowed that completely uncontested Berserk punch. And that's why this quad spree was able to get going. And now, Baltic looking good again.
Well, there it is. We should have... Well, it's a full 2v2 going on over there, but they're on different levels. So Nyx actually manages to get 2 kills, so he's done brilliantly just there. We're 21 for 21. We're approaching the halfway mark in the game, and it is difficult to tell who's going to be winning map 1.
Oh, excellent nails. I'm not going to get used to saying rails. Yeah. I'm never going to get used to that.
The disruptor. Excellent disrupting? I don't know.
Disruptors.
I need to get my head around this.
Oh, my God. Galena just went face first into that wall. Did you see that? That was violent.
Beautifully done. Weiser now, he can't deny the heavy. He does get a good amount of damage before going down.
Bukster has to be pretty careful, though. He's pretty weak indeed. Proximo, they're going to be splitting up a little bit, of which I agree, to be honest. Mega's going to be spawning. No doubt they've got timing. Weiser as well is going to be coordinating that. Nyx would have heard the Mega too, so they're going to have timing on that Mega regardless. Oh.
And although they split up, they're always meeting back up again in the same place. But unfortunately, Proximo didn't decide to go up the bounce pad as well, so hurting a little bit. It looks like Weiser totally run out of ammunition then. Bukster on his own. There's no flank. Teammates actually gone for a completely different objective. That's going to be heavy, which is worth going for.
Proximo
both died.
Yeah, Proximo had a bad weapon selection there too. Was doing no damage with the LG because he was too far away. Unfortunately, they were able to somewhat take the lead back, but Dreams&Magic, in just as fast amount of time, were able to steal it back completely. The Berserk's not going to work as well. That's got a hefty old cooldown, and here comes the protection.
Well, that's good timing there from Weiser, and he needed his teammate there to do all the damage beforehand, so protection wasn't too hard to fight against. And I think the fight down at the bottom, which was with Proximo, ended up not being favorable at all. It's going to be Bukster dying, and this looks like Dreams&Magic might be able to stretch their lead even further.
I mean, they're not going to try and fight this, I don't think. They can maybe try and survive, but I know in many cases, if you're fresh off the spawn, you've not got many weapons, a lot of people, especially if you know they're not weak, you have to just try and outlast the power-up. You have to waste that time and undo it. But if you're already down, and now you're having to waste the time, it's just going to take so much longer for you to get a lead back together.
Why is it just neglected the heavy completely? Nyx didn't go for it, I think expecting the rush, so that's very disciplined play not to go for it. But I think they did actually have the chance to pick it up if they really wanted to risk it. But you know what? I'm down with what they're doing. They're being conservative now that they have got a lead and we're approaching the final stages of the game.
I know sometimes playing conservative almost run the risk of almost like giving up control unnecessarily sometimes for the sake of safety. Yeah, he's not going to use that teleport. That's a death sentence.
It might be a death sentence anyway. Let's see if he is able to survive a little longer. Heavy's up. He does steal it away, going with the heavy machine gun damage.
Excellent.
Good support. And that is actually going to be Nyx backing off at the same time.
He was able to pick up Proximo at least, so it's going to be a 1-1 situation. Maybe 2-for-1 actually if Bukster gets taken out.
Those health bubbles, he's baited into them. That's going to be free extra damage. Although he does health up a little bit, he's back down to square root of nothing there.
Yeah, they had to coordinate the Mega instead. Yeah, this is just an honest 2v2 right here. It's going to be a fight towards the quad. If they die right now, then perhaps they can spawn and maybe try and get something doing if they do enough damage before, but it looks like this fight for quad is going in Dreams&Magic's favor. The totem to come through as well. Proximo is able to get it, but no, he gets 2 frags, but the totem!
The totem
doing what we all love.
But has it been picked up yet? Who's got it? Oh, Bukster's got it. Oh yeah, I found you, mate.
Yeah, I think he just respawned and went straight for it, hence the weapon he has very limited access to. But even the starter machine gun is dangerous with quad. Yeah,
absolutely. You don't want to be getting in the way of that. And they needed this quad too. 5 frags to catch up from. Less than 5 minutes to go.
It looks like they actually can't... Yeah, dude, the dodging. Very impressive stuff, actually, to waste that quad. It did very little. That power-up didn't do much at all.
And you can see another of the players hiding in the sort of catacombs area there, just trying not to be seen at all. Machine gun damage is really nice. Another 2 for 1 with 3 frags away. Well, from them catching up, at least, to the Dreams&Magic boys.
Yeah, Nexus fresh off the spawn, but with an LG and Rocket, it's not going to be the most difficult situation to deal with.
LG, surely going to be a kill. He's put him down to absolutely nothing there, and even gets him before those health bubbles are taken. Means he can get the health bubbles himself. Quick look at the scores shows Bukster leading the frags for Balticqc. Very even though between Nyx and Wiser.
I think it goes to show, like, sometimes just how much even work these guys are able to put in. But it goes to show as well the fact that Bukster has been working his ass off so far.
Oh, completely. And, you know, Proximo being maybe a new boy in the team, I don't think he's played as much 2v2 as cnz, the guy he's replacing. But he's been doing a valiant job, though.
My God.
2 for 1, in fact. So, I mean, you really cannot...
From the bottom of the jump pad up to the top, punching all the way through. That must have been a powerful one.
Well, that's got to be your idea of heaven, surely, with the amount you play Doom.
I mean, you read my mind, mate. That was an impressive triple, too. Proximo helping bring the folks back into the fight. But now here comes that extra battle, right? The battle for the protection. Unfortunately, Proximo, I think, he's going to go down. 2 versus 1. Bukster, he is nowhere near healthy enough to take this fight. He's got to be so careful. He might try and get some damage, but it's not going to be enough. Rocket propels him straight forward with the pummel. That's unfortunate. And this protection is spelling bad news for these guys. Fantastic Rocket. Finish off with another one. Bukster goes down. 6 frags left, and this map's going to be finished.
Looks like... Oh,
wow.
Lovely jump there, Nyx. Enjoying that. He's got no more rockets left now, but he's still looking pretty damn good at the minute. You can tell Nyx and Wiser were both kind of like fighting over who gets the power-up too. They had a very similar stack each, and they're like, I want it, no, I want it. The guys, focus on the match. You're getting into the finals here, possibly.
I actually think Proximo had a good choice there. So he used the rail, and it gave his position away, but he opted to go for the double jump towards rail, knowing that Galena was not actually going to be able to follow him. Obviously with the exception of a nail jump, which we saw earlier, but Proximo.
It's not done, this one. There was a bit of a spread, 6 or 7 frags a difference, and right now it's 3. We've got a power-up left, so everything can change in these last moments. They've both been found, he knows exactly where they are, and he's just going to push them out of that part of the map. Thing is, they took heavy, so it doesn't really matter. They want to leave. And
we look at how fast, again, it's going back to, we actually saw this from Crazy Clowns. Now it's super close, and they have somewhat of a lead, and they only need a few more frags. They're starting to absolutely cling together, because if you're going to force a trade is going to be in your favor if you have the lead.
Oh, for sure. I like the way that Dreams&Magic are playing right now. Wiser, though, he's on his own. I mean, I liked it up until that moment where Wiser went solo. He's basically not, you're not able to really give up frags very easily at all if you do keep sticking together. That's one thing that I think Bukster and Proximo have had a harder time with.
If they're able to keep Dreams&Magic behind, we very well could see one more power-up. As you can see, 13 seconds away from this quad damage. And this could be the game-winning quad.
That's also a very important rail. He's going to get him a little bit low, and leading up to the power-up fight that we should be having immediately. There's a totem in front also. Bukster goes down. And it's going to be a power-up over for Dreams&Magic. Nyx here, he's got a chance to get the final run of the game. He goes for the heavy, and now it's, buddy, tell me where they are. I mean, okay.
Totem's going to be that third buddy, I think. Why even need someone else?
That's going to be a good helping hand. And is he even going to get a chance to close one out? Bukster's there, but it's like, there we are. LG right at the end. Dreams&Magic #1 in the first map. they're going to be feeling good going into map 2.
For sure. And I think it was actually very, very impressive display regardless, because they were pretty much ahead the whole time.
Yeah.
Bukster, I mean, we've got to say Bukster did more than enough of his own weight. I think he played really well. Proximo definitely had a bit of a hard time there.
So with Proximo, I mean, I think something must have happened for CNZ to not be playing today, because CNZ and Bukster play a lot of 2v2. I know Proximo is a little bit newer to the 2v2. I'm not sure if he's got like a partner that he's taking to DreamHack Tours or anything like that, but he's a very, very good dueler and a good player in his own right. However, with Nakes, even though I was expecting Sombra to play with Weiser today, Nakes still plays a lot of 2v2 with Derrison, and I know they're even thinking of switching up the partnerships within Dreams&Magic as well. So there's some regular play there, and you know, they're both Spanish, they're both going to have no problem with communications, and I think they're going to understand the game plan much more easily and, you know, hit the ground running. So
as well, obviously we don't know circumstances of changing roster lineups and stuff at the last minute or whatever, but I think in this situation, this kind of cup actually gives you a lot of data within your own team. You know, you can see who works with who. Obviously, these guys are still, as we've mentioned before, these guys are in the money regardless of what the result is going to be today. So they're going to get a bit of a payday, but at the same time, they're also going to be able to see, right, who works with who, and again, going into tours, let's get that information now rather than later, when we could have used that bit of hindsight. On the flip side, though, I think the guys did really well. Next map, just to kind of remind you guys, will be the first time we've seen it today, Corrupted Keep.
Yes. This
is a very interesting, I mean, even outside of 2v2, Corrupted Keep is always interesting because there's the obvious, no rail, right? So it forces an entirely different game plan, no matter what the game mode is. And it's very, very close quarters. We see some interesting champion lineups on this map. We see Keel get picked on this map sometimes, similar to almost like a Veil as well. We need to see Keel get selected on that as well. Do you think this map will influence champion lineups, or are they going to stick with their guns?
It could do. We might see a Keel come out, but I would expect it to be a mixture between the Doom, Visor, and Galena. I don't know these lineups specifically, especially with the last-minute changes, to know exactly what they're going to go for. But I think, you know, whether or not they want to go for Doom, how they're going to see their focus around the LG and Mega control of the map, because that's really where the map stems from. And if you're a Doom and you're not controlling the Mega Health and the LG, you're going to have a really hard time. But otherwise, I would expect Galena to be a sort of a flat pick.
So we're just going to take like an extra minute to get this map underway. I think Buck's just resetting his machine. So while he's doing that, obviously, we'll have the guys waiting to start the match. Result-wise, are you thinking we're going to see a 2-0? Or do you, after what we saw on Blood Covenant?
Well, you know, at the end of Blood Covenant, you know, when I said that Proxima isn't as well rehearsed in 2v2 as the other players on the server, I think we might see a 2-0 because of that. Which is, you know, not shouting at Proximo at all. He's a player who's absolutely kind of deserving of this level, but I think he still needs to do a little bit more catch-up work in the 2v2 side of things. But yeah, I suspect Dreams&Magic are going to be able to go through, which is going to be a really nice result for them. They're going to be absolutely hyped about that. Because
it's also the chance for Dreams&Magic to face a team, if they get through, obviously this is just theoretically speaking, but if they get through to fight against Crazy Clowns, Dreams&Magic, they've been around since Quake Champions competitive began last year, you know, right in there during the Quake World Championship days. They were one of the very first sacrifice teams we ever saw, you know, all playing together. And they've been in every bracket. Whenever there's been a team mode in, you know, whether it was Quake World Championship, whether it was DreamHack, Dreams&Magic is always there, and it's no wonder to see them in 2v2. So it'd be nice to see them get a big result.
They love getting involved in Quake. They adore Quake Champions. They want to see themselves at as many events as possible. And so long as there's anything for the team to be getting involved with, they're going to be working as a unit to get the best out of themselves. I know they put a lot of hours into the game, and actually is one of the teams where we've seen a lot of positive developments between how they're playing. I know that Sombra, when playing with Weiser, he's grinding the game so hard, and you can see that his level was picking up, especially during the clutch meta. He was the guy who probably played more clutch than anybody.
Wasn't Sombra the first clutch that got like the weird like rune mastery?
Yes.
I'm sure I saw it on Twitter.
Yeah, the crazy, the final shader for the rune mastery.
They got it in like a few days or something.
It can't be that quick, surely.
God, it was like when they introduced it. It was good. My memory of dates is pretty bad, but it was definitely quick enough where you go, damn, that's a lot of Quake.
Yeah.
That's a lot of clutch.
He was playing a lot. And you could notice, because the movement was pretty crazy with clutch, but he was incredibly good with it. And there were not that many other players that could move the same way he could.
But I think, so going into what could move, going into the potential third map of Awoken as well, I think it's going to be, we might see some similar styles based on the fact, basically, these two maps are tiny. right? Awoken and Corrupted Keeper are two of the smaller maps in the game. I know obviously Awoken design is like a sort of dual/2v2 map as well. Excited to see what happens in Keep in particular.
Yes.
Because we haven't seen that map today.
It should be fairly fast-paced still. Again, it's going to be ideally it should be stem your control, mega LG. You want to rotate over to the heavy, but you want to really deny the lightning gun from your opponent as much as possible, especially if there's a Doom in play. You want to make sure that that Doom is suffering as much as is humanly conceivable, because if he's double jumping around, he's going to get punished really, really hard. Still valuable to have Kalena, still valuable to have a Visor. I'd kind of hope that the players would lean more towards that combination, but it's all to be seen. Again, I'm going to switch the topics a little bit now, because I know that we're getting an influx of players right now, especially with the recent patch. We had an amazing dev stream happening, which is
casual content matters.
Yes,
it's important.
Bots, gore, things like this, or team HUDs, things like that that are coming into the game. There's a lot of really exciting developments. Again, if you haven't watched that dev stream, it was super interesting to see a lot of the members of the team in id. But if there's new players watching, I mean, a lot of people struggling. What is the first thing that I should be doing when I get into the game? What am I trying to do? Am I trying to find an enemy straight away and and go for the fights with a starting weapon? Or do I spawn near an item? Do I want to go for that heavy armor first? Do I want to go for that mega health first? Or is there an LG behind me and the mega or the heavies over there? What do I want to be going with? Well, it's up to, if you know that an enemy is going to be spawning at an item and they're going to race there to it and get there before you, you probably want to be going for the weapons beforehand. And you see some weapons are going to be more useful than others. So if there are any new players out there who are grinding the games right now, I'd really recommend get that map knowledge as soon as possible. Get those binds on all the different weapons as well, and try go for that lightning gun, or the rocket, or the rail. That's a trifecta within the game that you want to be running with. And I think a lot of us casting Quake, we're getting to the use of it, people understand everything going on, but I hope that we can at least drop some things today that maybe are bit more clear-cut for newer people in the audience.
Yeah, I think it can sometimes be underestimated how important the new guy is. And there are I think little changes to the game that are being made as well, like in things like free-for-all, where you can't see your deaths anymore, you can't see everyone else's deaths that much. It's kind of hard to actually even see how much damage everyone else is doing in maps like that, because it's all the tools where if someone's new and someone's nervous about playing the game, all you're going to do is you're going to try and compare yourself to everyone else. These guys have more kills and less deaths, these guys are doing more damage, I'm not doing any damage, and all these things that kind of make it a little bit self-conscious about how you play the game. These things are almost being like hidden away, because if you're a new player, that stuff doesn't really matter. I guess in terms of like just turning on the game and having fun.
Oh, and ranked, you can have all of this.
All the data for days is important in those kind of playlists.
But when you're in those casual modes, it's good for those players to feel good, no matter what's going on within the game. It's good for them to be able to experiment with different champions and feel like they're not getting punished morally as well.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
But there's a lot to learn, especially with the movement, the different sort of attributes to each champion. There's a lot to get your head around. It's Quake Champions is a complicated but a massively enjoyable game with so much depth to it. So hopefully, if you're watching out for those players, seeing what they're doing first as they start off the map or starting off the spawn, because figuring out when you go into a fresh spawn as you've previously died, is like, right, what's my you're trying to make a decision within a second. What is my objective next? And if you're with the team, you're going to have someone, right, I need you to go X or Y, I need you to help me over there, or I know that an item's going to be up shortly. But if you're on your own in deathmatch, you want to know, right, how can I be more successful than everybody else? And usually that's going to be basis of which weapon to go for first. Are there 3 people fighting over a weapon already and I'm not getting a chance to pick it up before I die? Or can I maybe sneak off and get a less powerful weapon, but I know that I'm going to get a bit more time to myself and then come in and flank someone later on?
Yeah, exactly. Just little details like that, I think, make all the difference. Now, the Go4 Cups, this isn't going to be the only one that you guys see. I actually believe we have the information on how you guys can sign up for the next one. It's free to enter, of course, and it goes on for a couple of weeks. And then there's a monthly final at esl.pm/QC EU. And, for all we know, we see a lot of these guys playing in the 2v2s and they're going to be on stream. This time in like a few months where you see players that have been playing the game a whole amount and they go, well, I want to start trying to compete. It's these kind of tournaments, I think, give you that experience before you can start going to all the big lands. So we actually have the next map up and running. Bukster's machine is refreshed, and it's going to be Corrupted Keep for this second map.
Let's do this. I'm on Proximo to begin with. There is a Doom pick that I can see straight away. Let's see, they're both going for Doom, but it is going to be Balticqc that have gone for the Visor to go with that, and not the Galena. Interesting.
It's going to be all damage and massive utility of the, being able to see where they are on the map. And of course, Visor himself, one of the things that sometimes you almost forget, I guess, is this guy's got a pretty chunky stack as well as everything else.
Yeah, great movement. He's the fastest of the Vanilla Quake 3 movement champions there are. He's got a very nice starting stack. He's got an ability lasting 7 seconds, so you can see through the walls. That's not something that transfers to your teammates. It's just for yourself. And
but if you're in comms, you're in comms, I feel like you may as well be able to see it, right?
That's it. And you'll hear players like Rafa and Dahang, who are streaming a lot, and they're using Visor. They're going to be calling out when the piercing sight is up. Player A is in this location. Player B is in that one. They're going to give those constant updates to make sure, you basically got that wall hack yourself if you're not the Visor.
Yeah. Now, you said it yourself right, commanding LG. And with 2 Dooms on either side, that's 100% going to be like the #1 weapon.
Let's see, and it does look like Dreams&Magic have got control of that LG side right now. There's going to be a drop down. That Mega Health isn't going to be up for a few moments. Nax is going to come in and finish off that frag, so that was a nice little switcheroo we saw there.
They've got the timing on the heavy as well. Bukster has access to it, but they're both going to be more than aware. That totem, and with one Galena on the receiving end of this, Dreams&Magic, they've got Galena, so they can have control over these teleporters. That does mean that if Baltic want to use these teleporters, it's a risk every single time. Yeah. Because even if she hasn't put it down, what if she has? You have no way of knowing.
Exactly. It's so difficult to just assume and just not end up taking loads of damage. You have a double jump in there from Wiser. That's going to end up hurting him a lot. We've got power up in a second, and Bukster is stacked to the brim now. He's going to have mega health as well.
And more. Oh my god.
This is going to hurt right now if you're a
Corrupted Keep.
Player.
You can't play Runaway on Corrupted Keep. This is a tiny map. If someone's going to get a quad rampage, this is one of the maps you're going to call it on.
And Proximo stealing frags, but you know what? Bukster will let him off the hook just there.
Fresh off the spawn. There's 2 people here. X goes down.
Okay,
using the Berserk. Yeah, that Berserk is a free frag. There is no way he was surviving that one. Oh, God.
Almost another to follow. Oh, he got it anyway, just at the end.
And now Baltic comfortably in the lead. How about that?
That's a really big lead.
He tried to get the Mega and he got rocket boosted away from it. Bukster, you jerk.
That wasn't very nice.
That's a great moment. I give it the ultimate respect.
Well, let's have a look, because I think Bukster's doing pretty well. He's 8 for 3, but actually Proximo is 9 for 2. And his score seems to be getting better as well. This is an incredibly powerful start. Yeah, this could snowball really hard now.
I think Steamroll works as well, to be fair. Look at this frag difference. And Bukster, he was really strong on Blood Covenant, and he's looking even better on Corrupted Keep.
I don't know if there's been a little bit of a team chat to sort of realign their strategies, but it's working out for them. Nice 2v1 for the moment, but they weren't able to finish off the frag. God. Wiser, okay, there's a totem as well.
I mean, to be fair, you've got a very angry Doomslayer in front of you and a totem behind. I mean, what do you look at? And you're dead either way.
It's not an obvious place where you'd expect a totem to be. It's not one where you'd check your back first. You're going to be running backwards.
For sure.
And you're going to be hurting. And
I think if you're Galena, if you're going to have that knowledge too. You're going to know these really weird locations, because sometimes these modes are so fast, you don't have time to look everywhere. Especially if you're trying to survive, or you're trying to run away, like he was doing there.
This is bad news for Nex. He needs to die right now so that he can respawn. I want to actually stay on board with him and see what he does. All right, so he gets the nail gun room spawn. He's going to find them over there, and he's just rushing with this weapon. Unfortunately, he didn't get anything straight off the spawn, so it's quite hard for him to have strong effect. But it's important. If you're dying about 7 to 10 seconds before the power-up, you can still rush that power-up, and more often than not, you'll have a good impact.
Wiser goes down as well. Bukster, he's had a fantastic game, and it just seems to only be getting better. One more rocket makes it very easy to follow up there. There's not much you can do to survive. Pushed up against that wall.
This is unreal. I was not expecting this at all. They're still not on 10 kills for the time being.
Let's check the kills that Bukster's on right now, actually. I'm really interested to see how he's doing.
All right, we've got... It's 16 for 5, Proximo 12 for 5. I mean...
He's picked it up. He has picked it up.
We've got the 10 mark now for Dreams&Magic Red, which is a good stepping stone forward. Fortunately for them, they won the first map, so they can relax a little bit knowing at least they're going to get a tiebreaker at the very minimum, but they want to make this a respectable scoreline now.
I mean, never say never until it's finally over, but
yep.
this sometimes leads are so significant, and these guys are playing so well.
Well, we've seen some incredible comebacks happen already in 2v2. I know in the tiebreaker to determine who was making the 4th spot, Maestro and Up To You went versus each other, and we saw a pretty impressive 15 frag comeback from Maestro.
I'm sure we'll be seeing the Maestro boys in one of these Go4s at some point, at least of all at DreamHack.
Yeah, for sure. And even actually in the semi-finals we saw before, we saw some impressive comebacks happening.
I feel like the ceiling actually saved him there from that actually getting rocketed, because it almost like completely messed up his airborne movement there.
Let's see. No, he doesn't get much damage. He gets a direct rocket at the end, but considering how much health and armor he had, he should be picking up more damage than that. You want to be isolating those targets a little bit. You don't want to be getting damage from 2 corners. Change that position up a little bit. Bukster gets a nice double. He's going to get quad damage, and just as it looked like it was getting a bit better for Dreams&Magic Red, it's about to get a whole lot worse. And
Bukster's rocket placement, if he's landing a rocket in quad, it's not one of those things where even though you've got quad, they still manage to survive. Bukster's rockets have been kill shots every single time.
Yeah, they've been sick. Oh, he's going to need to change target a little bit. Actually, he's going to just move away, get himself the health. Oh, shotgun missing. He gets down. Wiser almost goes down. My God. Come on, finish off the Galena.
Almost. Can he at least get one more hit? Oh God, almost killed himself. Oh.
We'll check out Proximo. He might die. He's airborne a little bit. Are there any more rockets coming away? He's going to go through the teleporter anyway. Goes for one punch and another. 38 to 18. We're not even 7 minutes in. Make it 39 to 18.
Fantastic sequence so far. Baltic. And I think Proximo, because he's been using a lot of Doomslayer, because Doomslayer naturally works really well in 2v2, this is a good map for him, I feel. And if you're able to at least keep them away from LG, if you've got good rocket placement, if you know when to use Berserk, you can get around basically the entire map with just one pop of Berserk. Like, it's not a bad pick for him.
No, absolutely. All right, 20 mark hit now for Dreams&Magic, but already they're forcing themselves to have to play perfectly for the rest of the game, because otherwise Bukster and Proximo, well, they can feel the victory coming. What's important for Bukster and Proximo, though, is not to assume victory yet. We've seen it happen times before where you get a strong lead and you're like, oh, we just got to kind of like coast our way to the finish line and we're going to be fine. Right, you see there, a 2-for-0 frag. That's okay, it's happened once, but...
If 3 more of those happen.
Yeah, if it keeps happening, all of a sudden that scoreline changes quite drastically.
Let's just not breathe this. Don't breathe a sigh of relief before the map's finished. I think will be the rule. But this power-up could be the very last one we see if Baltic are able to take it. Ooh. But 2 more frags unreturned. That's the second time it's happened.
He's got no stack at all, though. Wise is going to go down. The power-up is going to be taken by next, but he's got nothing either. And that's going to be Proximo now, who does have something. And he's also got the heavy. 6 frags to come to make up now.
He is getting completely swarmed, and yet he still has only just gone under 100 HP. That's insane.
Yeah, and that's going to be another 2 clean kills. He's going to find both of the enemies now. He's got rockets also, but he's deciding to go with Berserk now. There's going to be another punch, 1 more. Is he going to be able to find...
I mean, Nex has to just try and get out of there. There was no way he was going to survive. 100 damage and still living. But with 3 more frags good to go, an almost dead Galena may as well be a dead Galena.
Oh, Bukster might die over here. But this is a lot to ask for from Dreams&Magic.
I mean, this is going to be one of the most insane comebacks we've ever seen if it happens. But with 2 frags, you can't lose. That's just...
They've actually played very well, though, in the last couple of minutes, because the frags have been going back and forth, actually ever so slightly in the favor of Dreams&Magic. If they were playing like this from the start, it would be a much, much closer game.
And I think that's going to be good information when we inevitably go into Awoken.
Yeah. Well, you've accepted at this point, haven't you? When we inevitably go into Awoken.
I just feel like it's too much of a big feat on this map as well.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
Then again, if they can survive 100% and get quad, maybe that's another frag.
They are together again. They're going to go in on this one. LG out. Where is Nyx to support him? Wise is going to move away from this. They're on 30 now.
Okay. Never say never. Uh-oh.
Baltic. Wiser gets out of here. Can he support from the sideline? Nail going to coming towards him, but he's going to be able to heal up a little bit.
2 health bubbles, and there's plenty of health bubbles around. Ooh, wait, 1 more frag. 1 more frag and quad damage.
And that's going to be heavy taken, and I think that was Proxima that was finishing off that kill. That is going to be, what 50 to 31, I think, in the end? I
think so. It was very, very similar, but it was at a point where we were going, okay, hang on a minute. These guys were starting to sort of play, yeah, 50-31, you were correct. Now, Wise didn't have an amazing game there, but
it's a very polite way to put it. 9 for 25, Ketchup. That was a very unfortunate for him.
You're significantly more savage than me. I'm trying to stay a little bit more neutral. Let me just move this out of the way real quick. But the final map being Awoken, then you said it yourself. They had a really bad start, but they started to play amazingly by the end of the second map.
Wise, I think, was the Doom player, so as that happened, it can really snowball you. If you're not getting that LG control early on and you're double jumping unnecessarily a bit, you're extremely vulnerable. And I think Balticqc kind of, well, took off just then. That was very nice for them.
And I think after what was basically, you could say, I think it was an unfortunate first map. It almost seemed like they, you know, no pun intended, because we're playing on Awoken, but the guys woke up a little bit on the second map. And you said it yourself, I think it's not just the fact that they were both playing evenly too. You know, Bukster had an amazing map first of all, and in the second one, a lot more evenly split, even though Bukster was the one that went on a lot of the power-up rampages, because I think Bukster is just what we've seen so far, very, very good at taking a power-up in 2v2. I'm interested again to see what happens in this third map though, because by the end of Corrupted Keep, it was both sides looking strong, but actually Dreams&Magic were starting to inch away in terms of how much frags they were getting before they were returned. And you said it yourself, if they were playing like that at the beginning, then perhaps that could have been a 2-0.
I mean, in fairness to Balticqc, they were close to the win. I think they probably did lift their foot off the gas pedal a little bit. But it doesn't mean that Dreams&Magic have got no hope at all going into Awoken. I think they do, but they need to make sure they get that good start much, much sooner. Be careful of your champion composition as well. Play well off the first power-ups and, you know, dig in early and put the pressure on. Because otherwise, just psychologically, you're going to be feeling far, far weaker.
I think also we saw some excellent totem placement on Corrupted Keep. And I think Awoken is another one of those maps where you can get away with not only just having Galena as that, like, you know, I say quote-unquote supportive character, because you can still get loads of frags with her regardless, and she can just use totems on herself to stay alive, to just last longer, because if you can last longer in a fight, that in itself, inadvertently in 2v2, is support regardless of what happens. But you can be a real, you know, you can be a real nasty guy with those totems on this map, because teleporters are vital for getting around.
Completely. We'll see how the sort of control of this locks down. I hope that we do see Galena from both sides on this occasion. Again, we talk about the heal all the time, but it is understated from some teams, and I sometimes get surprised that we don't see it picked even more, because that supporting factor for both you yourself, and even if you wanted to just to support yourself and say, right, I'll heal myself throughout the whole game, you just take all the items, that's fine. You can balance yourself like that. I don't know if we'll open up to a Keel pick or something like this. No one's yet deviated from that. I would be very excited if we do get to see a Keel though, because his pineapples are great.
I think of all the game modes where we're likely to see Keel, I think 2v2 is, at least in the scrims and stuff, you see it pick the most. Because it's all damage. If you've got coordination, if you're on a small map, like, you know, we just saw Corrupted Keep, that's also, we've seen like base use a lot of Keel in those smaller maps. You know, when we were seeing people play on like the Veil of Nath, when that was in the rotation, Keel was like super, super popular on Veil as well. Because if it's a map where grenades are great and you spawn near a rocket, it's also the fact that he starts with all of them. So out of all the champions in the game, he's going to have like the highest possible damage output fresh off the spawn compared to anyone else.
You can get some crazy 1v2s going as well if there's a couple of people chasing your corridors, especially like on Blood Run. Say you get the nail gun up in the, well, nail gun or power up room. You're going through towards the heavy armor through that sort of tight corridor. If two people come at you there, and you're just, you know, balls out with the nail gun and your pineapples, you're going to be doing so much damage that you're going to be unlucky not to hit.
That was such an amazing sentence that I don't think I'm going to repeat out of context. But I mean, like with the Keel pick, we did see even Zron do that in the Open League. Right? We saw he picked it on Blood Run in Duel, and we're like, okay, but
there was some crazy kind of geometric understanding there as how some of the grenades were landing as well. I think there's an incredibly high skill ceiling to Keel. And also players like, champions like Ranger as well. I think there's so much that can be done with this, but it's also interesting how things change from one mode to another, and how suddenly some champions are extremely viable. Like some champions we'll see in Duel that we won't be seeing in 2v2 and vice versa. So
Kind of reminds me of, it just reminds me of the sacrifice days, right? But the nature of Quake Champions, where the abilities are so different and the stats so different, they will lend themselves, you know, when we inevitably see like CTF or something, I have no doubt, again, you know, maybe we're going to see people like maybe Anarchy or Nyx come back out to play, because like just the speed alone, right?
Well, we've heard that from the dev stream that I think Anarchy is more than likely going to be getting a boost next patch. They found a sort of a place where they can build him from in terms of knowing how to tweak him. So I suspect he'll come back into the meta somehow, or at least be far more viable one way or another. And I kind of really like how the balance is going right now in terms of medium champions are the focal point. We're going to get to see all that sort of core Quake movement that a lot of us are used to, and then we kind of deviate from that into the sort of specialist champions. And when you've got a mode which has got more players, you're just going to see more differences as well.
It sounds really weird. I'm probably going to get crucified for saying it, but I kind of miss Anarchy.
You miss... Whoa,
I miss watching him.
Whoa there.
Because there are some... I just remember the sick moments on certain maps in Duel and stuff, where you got like an Anarchy, like, you know, going back and watching like some of the old QuakeCon stuff, watching like Atromi's Anarchy and stuff like that. During like, when you've got a speed boost and you just can't stop. From a viewer's perspective, it's like super hype. Watching him just fly around and just frag all these dudes.
Be careful with your words though, Ketchup. That's all I say.
Hey, it's, I'm, don't quote me on that, guys. Don't quote me on that. But we're on our final map. The guys are having a bit of a discussion about, I believe the players are having a bit of a discussion about server location. So they've settled on one, and we're going to be going into this final map between Baltic and Dreams&Magic Red.
Well, I'm on Bukster to start with at the moment. He's going to be Galena. I'll have a quick look around to see what the others are picking. I can see another Galena, so it looks like they will both pick that one. Noticing a vital importance here, but a nice rocket work here from Bukster. That's sad. Proxima's going to stick with Doom. Wiser is going to go with Visor, which is joyous for...
Your favorite thing returns.
Yeah. Thanks, Wiser.
It's actually interesting seeing a 2v2 lineup that doesn't have Visor in it. Because we see him so constantly. And we talk about, you know, Galena and that being pretty vital, and a lot of people go with Doom. Visor is definitely the most popular that we're seeing today. Yeah. Well,
let's see. Bukster trying to hold on to this power-up area. It is a very important zone. Although you've only got the rail up there, you've got direct access to the heavy and to the mega health. It's just a great sort of spot to be able to have control of. And then when that power-up comes around, you're also controlling that too.
Pretty close so far. Wiser goes down. Bukster still alive temporarily a little bit until he can top himself up with the totem as well. Doesn't want to run out there, needs a jump pad, because that would have been a guaranteed death, I think. Especially with Proximo lying in wait, just waiting for him to give himself a free shot.
Wiser's going to chase through the teleporter over here. That is going to be Proximo dying. I'm checking out Nakes now. Ooh, strong rail.
Knocked off his jump too. Knocked off his jump and forced down into a location where it's going to be very hard for him to survive against these rockets.
They don't. He didn't even get the heavy armor just then. They did manage to get one kill. LG, but Bukster cleans up easily.
Good patience.
Here comes the power up in 5 seconds time. Wiser trying to press close. There's already totems over here, all over the place. And Bukster survives. Proximo gets 2 kills. And here he comes.
He's got a nice stack too. Plus Berserk. Berserk quad damage is one of the scariest things to deal with, I find. If he's point blank, it's like, I mean, you're dead. There's nothing you're doing. He's going to lock on and you're going to get killed for free. Nake's completely surprised. We're going to see a couple of Easter eggs as well. How about that?
And you can see that Galena just using the totem there. I don't even think he healed from it. He got pretty much nothing. And it's going to be another 2 kills. LG finds its mark. 14 for 6. And it's almost where we left off from Corrupted Keep.
It's almost strange that they had such a weak... They're playing so well now, and they have been since Corrupted Keep began. It's weird that they didn't play like this in the first map, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I don't know if it was kind of sort of growing pains, Proximo getting into it, because they're clearly playing together far better, and there's been a little bit of time between the maps where they've been able to discuss things, I guess. But far more well-oiled machine on Balticqc.
Well, if there's a time to wake up, it's going to be mid-tournament when you're on the verge of elimination, that's for sure.
Yep. Well, it's early stages now, but it's time to properly get stuck in. Bukster pressuring from heavy side. Proximo's over on the other, but Wiser's going to take him down to the rail. And he knows exactly where Bukster is. There's one shot, Mega up again in a moment, but Bukster with the rockets. And now he's got the support from Proximo, so that is a 2 for nothing in the end.
Yeah, look, he arrived a little bit too late. If the frag was already decided, there really wasn't much he was going to do to survive. Maybe try and get a 1v1 trade, I'm not so sure, but at that point, I don't think he was going to survive regardless of that. Bukster cleaning up.
That's a lot of damage done. 9 for 2, 13 for 9 for Proximo. Nex is having an absolute mare. He's on 4 for 15. Okay, 5 for 16 now.
Now, this is the kind of situation, though, when someone's not particularly doing so well. It can be quite frustrating, I think, because if you know you're not doing very well and it's just continuing to go and you're not able to climb back on, and at the end of the day, that difference is actually getting more and more extreme. I think that in itself can be its own mind game that is being used against you.
Oh, completely.
We've all been there when we're not having a good game and you can't stop thinking about how bad you're doing, and it just kind of gets worse and worse, right?
I don't know how it goes within the team for these guys, but I see a lot of sort of 2v2 teams getting plagued by the rage. And you can have a big impact on how you're performing. It's kind of less so, I think, in a 4v4 mode, because you've got maybe 3 players who aren't feeling so bad and they're propping each other up. But when you got in a partnership, you've got one person really feeling really bad about how they're playing, they're having a terrible game, it can really throw off how everything's going.
Not suggesting that
I don't know if Nex is doing like that,
theoretically speaking,
it's something that can definitely have its mark on a game.
Oh, excellent rail.
28 for 14. It's double the score right now. Thanks to my maths and my observational powers.
Yeah, and we've only just gone 5 minutes in too. So I mean, this is a fantastic game for Baltic so far.
That was a nice 2 for nothing then for Dreams&Magic. They needed that. It's going to be a 1v1, easy frag for Nex, and this is what they need. Should lift their spirits a little bit, and especially Nex, who really needs to be picking up those kills. His stack is good.
Oh, that's
what the hell is that rocket? Oh
excellent.
My god!
And a double. Again. That's one way to get you back in the fight.
Yeah, that'll do the job a little bit. We're 1 rotation of items till power up. Thing is, it's going to be hard to like tame yourself a little bit to not go for those items and just hold that position on power up. Great damage to Bukster.
Bukster was in a terrible position right there. Had no real options either. You know, Galena's not really known for a quick mobility to get out of those bad situations. Oh, fantastic. Nex has woken up.
What
oh my god.
How many kills has he gotten in a row just now? He was on 5 for 15 or 16, and he's just absolutely smashed it at the last moments.
So he has awoken.
He has, don't say it. Be careful. I'm watching. Oh, but it's still going to be a 2v1 for Balticqc, and they will get quad. Great comeback so far. It's 30 to 23. If the Dreams&Magic guys can hide a little bit, then they're still going to be very, very competitive. Nex will go down. It's okay, but let's see how this run.
Yeah, quad's halfway. They've only got 1 frag, and half of it is gone. So that's actually a win for Dreams&Magic so far. They're going to get 1 more, of course. So only 2 frags for a quad damage, maybe a 3rd at a push. Yeah, that was just an unfortunate spawn, I think.
I think maybe Bukster managed to pick up 1, and actually right at the end that started hurting a lot more. So a lot of hard work to be done still for Dreams&Magic. They can't really let go of any of the future power-ups. And you can see they're a minute early for the next power-up, but they're already anchoring themselves into this position.
And I think that's because they know, right? If we're going to maintain this lead, what's the #1 way these guys can come back? Get a couple of frags, take power up, get an amazing power up rampage. If we can spend this entire minute controlling this side of the map, because we have Galena, because we have loads of weapons, maybe this is how they do it. However, I'm about to say it's somewhat slipped between their fingers, but Proximo cleaned it up, so not the end of the world for these guys at all.
Very nice from Proximo. He managed to get the heavy as well, I believe. He's just picked up Mega, so it means a lot more power's got to be coming out from Dreams&Magic.
And it was because of spawn location. Baltic almost like natively had control over the power-up location anyway, because Dreams&Magic spawned on the opposite side of the map.
Ouch.
Good shot.
Yeah, Proximo was hurting just then. He was going up the bounce pad. Oh, Bukster gets the nail gun kill, and there was a 15 frag lead earlier, and it's come back to that now.
There was that one moment of greatness from Nakes, but 10 frags left to go.
And it was
going to get it now.
It was really insane, but it's unfortunately it's just a memory now.
Very good damage. That is going to force Proximo to run away temporarily. We're going to see protection in 5 seconds. It does look like Dreams&Magic control. Oh my god! Almost got ring out.
He needs that support to come near him. He's spawned over at the rockets.
But he's weak. He's weak. He's got to be careful. Oh my god, the combo. Nakes with that mid-air. Set up completely by Wiser.
He knows exactly where they are. He's trying to get the rockets almost surrounding them. He's got to make sure, though, that his teammate Nex is not going 1v2. He finds the Doom. There's going to be Mega behind him. He needs to call his teammate to go for that. But he looks like they're just valuing the frags first.
Oh, no, he killed himself.
But that's not too bad, because it means they're not getting closer to 50. Yeah, they're still far away.
That is true. It's going to stay at neutral for these guys.
Obviously not ideal. You want to be getting closer to 50 as well, but... I think beggars can't be choosers sometimes. Oh, the rockets! Where is this landing? And he gets the midi. And another one!
What is this madness from Weiser? He didn't even have... He just popped piercing sight after that as well. That was just pure excellent rocket placement.
You're going to be feeling good from that. There's going to be the Mega coming up in a moment. You can see that he's spamming desperately, trying to hold down banana side of the map. Nyx is going to go down, but Bukster suicides right after. The 9 frags are difference, and it's not over.
I love that decision from Weiser as well to not go down and chase that. He's going to still stay level-headed. And now they're both in a bad position. Oh. This is not where you want to be if there are rockets peppering down. He's going to get another one. Galena's still alive. It took 1 extra rocket to kill him. And hang on a minute. Don't call it a comeback.
Oh, unfortunately, he didn't get the heavy. I think he had the kind of the missed timing on that. Going for rockets first. It's a dangerous weapon versus Doom, but Proximo just stays kind of on the floor and still handles it well.
They're going to have to be super careful. The comeback is possible, and there's going to be a quad as well. If Dreams and Magic control this quad, this could be a complete turnaround, but Bukster looks like he's in a bit of control so far.
He's trying to get this teammate over there. He's got a 2v1.
Another suicides.
They're
starting to add up a little bit, Zoo, I think, these suicides.
Yeah, they really are. 8 frags difference. We've got to see the rush right now. Oh, Weiser's on 5 HP. You can't do anything with that. He's got the Mega. Power-up spawning in 1 second. Rocket jump across. Can he knock him off at least?
He gets Bukster! And Proximo, the double kill! That was an insane rocket jump from Weiser.
Brilliant, brilliant.
Is that going to be what they needed to win this map? Is this going to be the catalyst?
He still needs help. He's still really on a survival mode. He kills himself. Okay, so he's given it across to Nyx. He's managed to get the kill onto Proximo. He's got a totem down on the ground. Hasn't healed up too much, but he can still make a good impact on the game. Great machine gun finds him again. There's going to be Bukster still dying.
All right, it's all right. They've got to do double the work. They have to do double the work right here, but... Oh my God! All right, how about that? How about this totem? Why not?
Can he find him still down over at the heavy? Rocket jump out. Very, very greedy, I think, a little bit from Bukster. The rockets are missing. Proximo.
Oh my God, that was such a costly miss. They can't afford to lose even a single frag in this situation. They're going to spawn together. I think there's going to be a lot of hand-in-hand combat so far. Are they going to do it?
I'm just curious if we're going to get to another power-up or not. Nyx is completely committed to that room. Going up the bounce pad over here. Another rail's going to land. Bukster does kill off Nyx. Weiser's on 16 health, but it gets the rail anyway, so at least makes it a 2-for-1.
Oh my God. 2 frags left from Baltic. I mean, this is their map to win. They lose 1 frag again. Oh no, he's fumbling between weapons.
This is it. Well, you've got to have composure right now. These guys playing for a spot in the grand finals to go versus the Crazy Clowns. Bukster's kind of weak. 5 seconds now till the Mega health. You can see Nyx and Weiser are over together.
Oh my God.
Free kill.
He's got a totem.
There it is.
There it is.
And it's now when you want to start setting up for the power-up.
13 seconds. I mean, yeah, we're definitely going to see this protection spawn.
Oh, those rockets. That was an amazing shot by Nyx. Is he going to be able to take down Bukster? He's focusing the wrong target. He eventually switches across. And Weiser's there. Where are you, Weiser?
1 more frag. But he's so weak. He is so weak. He has to stay hidden. He has to stay hidden. Proximo, he's going for the wrong target as well.
It's 49-49.
1 more frag is going to be the decider of this map.
But Weiser's got to survive as well. I think Weiser's very low, and he's just going to be hiding a little bit.
He's alone.
They found one. He's got to chase it. Chase it somehow.
Oh no, he missed the jump!
Come on, Nyx, you've got to get this kill. This is the time. This is where you can lock it down. He's found Bukster, who's running back. He's found Proximo as well, and he gets it.
Oh my God, Zoot! Oh my God!
What a comeback there from Nyx and Weiser. I thought it really was completely inconceivable, but it was Dreams and Magic in front of our very eyes.
Dreams and Magic. That was insane! Right at the last minute as well. Like, you just look at the divide in frags and you realize they have to play out of their mind and make the most insane decisions.
You can see the 36 deaths from Nyx in the end, but he was doing God's work also at the end. Proximo also suffering a little bit. Great a great place from Weiser and Bukster. They're both in the positives there.
I hope we got that moment. I'm sure it was Weiser, the rocket jump into power up at the last minute to get the double kill. If they got that power up, they would have lost.
Yeah.
That was the only thing I think he could have possibly done.
And it was the Mega that spawned. I think he got it 2 seconds before power up, but he went around the corner. As you saw, the rocket jumped, went into the quad. I mean, it was just clutch plays we saw from Dreams&Magic. They're going to be absolutely psyched, and they're going to have to chill the hell out right now before they get to the finals, which will be coming up quite shortly.
I mean, they've made themselves a nice little chunk of change. They've earned themselves at least 200 each going into this grand finals. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit more on the line if they manage to get first place, but these guys are going to have a Goliath of a team going up against crazy clowns.
For sure. Now, this is the practice you want. You want to be getting this experience, this exposure. It's going to be an amazing story to see Dreams&Magic push themselves even further, so I'm really excited to find out what the Spaniards are capable of.
It's all about confidence boosts, right? If they do that at a LAN, I mean, come on.
Yeah. I mean, it was unreal.